Greetings everyone. So this is part 2 of my vlog on rebuilding and expanding my fish room. I decided not to film how I'm actually doing all the reconstructions, how I'm moving tanks, setting up tanks and so on, because well, the previous video was not very popular and there wasn't much interest among yourselves as to watching how I do everything. So I thought that it would probably make sense to just show you the final product, the renovated and expanded fish room. So let's get started. And yeah, the first thing I would like to show you is that I've changed the floors. I removed this type of floors, which are just fake wooden plates. With these sticky bathroom tiles, these are actually supposed to be waterproof tiles, and I have similar thing in our bathroom. So supposedly, so far they hold leaks and they hold spillages more or less okay. And on sides, I've added this corner PVC tape, also designed for bathrooms, and I've had it in our kitchen, well, the different color tape in our kitchen, and it seems to be doing quite well. So it does seem to be waterproof, at least for the time being. So the floor looks certainly much nicer than it used to be, like this. And it also more waterproof because this doesn't hold water, so if there is a leak or I spill some water when making water changes, it will all go underneath into the sort of a piece of wood that is underneath this layer of floor tiles. The next thing that I've done is I've insulated this whole wall here, because behind there is an elevator shaft, and this wall used to be quite cold. It would get frequently lots of mold growing on it, and now I covered it with this panel. It's made of styrofoam. It's obviously imitating a wooden panel, but it's made of styrofoam, and I added all sort of hooks and shelves for all sort of stuff that I'm keeping here. That's my colony of grindal worms, and that's an air pump I'm using to power all the sponge filters that I have in every tank. So without any further ado, let's have a look at what happened here. So I replaced the stand that I used to have here, which was not an actual stand but a bar side table, with these two metal racks. As a result, I was able to add more tanks actually. So now I have here 7 tanks. I'll briefly take you through all of these tanks, but in further videos I will do sort of a more detailed reviews of each of these tanks. But well, previously I only had 5 tanks in here, and well, the last tank over there is still empty, and I'm either going to use it as a quarantine tank, but I never managed to have a dedicated quarantine tank because I actually want to populate it with some fish. So I think that will be the fate of that tank. It will become one of the tanks with fish rather than quarantine tank. Here I have my colony of high pancistors, King Tiger L333, and you can actually see them trapping in here. That's a male, and a tail of female is sticking out in here, so they're spawning, and they're likely to be more eggs and more fry. I will make a separate video about breeding high pancistors King Tiger L333 because I have been quite successful with that, which takes us to this next tank. This is where I have all the fry and all the juveniles of this breeding colony. There is actually 44 juveniles of different sizes, different ages, probably from 3 or 4 different spawns. It is impossible, literally impossible, to see any of them at the moment, because when the lights are on, they are all hiding. I'll try to zoom in on some larger ones that are hiding in this PVC pipe, so it doesn't seem to be any of them here, but you have to take my word on it that there's a lot of them in here. Well, underneath I have a tank that's not really properly scaped or anything. It just has a couple of pieces of driftwood with lots of Christmas moss growing on it. I have here several groups of Corydorus, Corydorus granti, Corydorus schwarzai, Corydorus brevirostris, and Corydorus elegans. So there's about 20 Corydorus in here, and they're all hiding, of course. I also have here 5 glow light tetras, which I've added as fish, but they are hiding as well. So I need to think about adding some more active fish in here in order to get all this shy Corydorus and glow light tetras to come out and to become a bit more outgoing. In this tank nearby, I have a group of Corydorus Aenius Trinidad, so wild caught bronze cories. And they're also extremely shy. I've previously had them in a different tank. I moved them in here hoping that they might start breeding in here because there's more space here. But so far they're all hiding. But to be honest, I've just set up this tank 3 days ago, so this is a very fresh tank, and obviously fish are not used to these conditions. There's also a group of Pristella tetras that I've had in a different tank, and I also got them as fish for Corydorus, but as you can see they're all hiding as well, so they're all very shy as well. And I would probably need to get some kind of a braver and faster fish in here in order to get all of this shy Corydorus to feel a bit safer. Well, in the tank up here, which used to be previously in this space here, so I have here my colony of Corydorus duplicareus, and I've counted more than 40 of them in here actually. There's an original breeding group, consists of 4 or 5 adults, and then there's just countless number of fry of all sizes, and they are not shy, but they're a bit nervous now because I'm filming, and I guess they're not used to be in this part of the fish room. I also have here a solo neon, a black neon tetra. We'll probably get some more to make sure that this solo fish is not lonely. And I have here 3, I believe, green belly tetras. I can't see them at the moment. So that's a population of this tank. Moving on. Down here I have a relatively small tank. It's like only 25 liters or something like this, and it has about 25 juvenile Nanostomus Beckfordi F1. So they're fry of my other group of Nanostomus Beckfordi. Some of them are, well, more or less average sized ones, but there's a lot of really tiny juveniles. And yeah, I've added lots of botanicals to make them feel at home, and they're still hiding, and there's no chance to film them actually. And in here I have an empty tank which I will hopefully use for something. That's a space used more or less effectively. There's obviously not much space to add anything else or to do anything else in this place, but I believe I've tried to make the most efficient use of this space. Yeah, so it's been a relatively time-consuming work to move all these tanks out, to renovate this space, and then to move them all back in and scape them. Well, I've properly scaped only these 2 tanks, and this one, it used to be more or less in the same condition, so I didn't do much scaping on it. This one, this tank actually used to be up here, and it used to have this lots of different mosses growing on driftwood, but I've moved some of those pieces of driftwood elsewhere, like for example here. So it has less moss at the moment, and it doesn't look as beautiful as it used to look, but I will think about scaping it a bit later. I will probably add a bit more substrate, and I will plant some rooted plants into the substrate like I've done here, because in here I've got lots of crypts, juvenile Cryptocarines growing here. Hoping that they will create some sort of a carpet on the bottom, but as things stand, they're just tiny little bits of 3 different species of Cryptocarine. Yeah, and there's some Hydrocotyledoncephala used as a floating plant, and there's some moss growing on driftwood. Well, in here it's pretty much the same. Lots of Christmas moss, some Hydrocotyledoncephala. I used to have tons of Brazilian pennywort in here, but I've removed most of it to create more light and to create more space for other plants, such as dwarf sage growing in here. And I've added some red Ludwigia in the back, which I'm hoping will start growing. And lots of different plants that I've added in here, and no plants at all in here. So soon I will make a separate video about my tips on breeding Hypancistros L333 King Tiger Pleco. And that's it for now. Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and I will see you very soon in further videos.